It wasn't until 2 weeks after the wedding that I truly realized I had married a compulsive liar. It was also that night that I first saw my most trusted friend kneeling on the floor, crying, begging me for forgiveness. That day, I got off work a little earlier than usual and returned to the apartment we rented. The kitchen was bathed in warm yellow light, and Benny was slicing pizza. "The photographer's USB arrived," I said, placing the brown paper bag on the dining table. He looked up, smiling casually. "Finally. I've been waiting for this day for so long." I remember his voice was steady, without a hint of nervousness, which, in retrospect, only made it more terrifying. We turned off the overhead lights, leaving only the small lamp above the table. I plugged in the USB, and a video labeled "Wedding Day Complete Package" appeared. As soon as the background music played, I laughed. It was the soft guitar piece I had chosen. The screen showed my father walking me down the aisle. The soft blue lights on the walls made me feel both anxious and happy. Then suddenly, the screen went black. White letters slowly appeared. "I need to show you this footage. I'm sorry. But you should know what happened." I froze for a moment. Benny's hand paused mid-air with the pizza knife. Maybe it's some behind-the-scenes footage. The video then cut to the hotel corridor, the same one I had stayed in the night before the wedding. The timestamp read 7:30 a.m. The corridor was empty and quiet, and the camera seemed to have been accidentally set to record automatically during the cruise setup. At first, nothing happened. Until room 115 at the end of the hallway opened. 2 people came out. A man and a woman. The woman seemed to have just finished showering, her hair was half dry, and she was wearing a black knee-length dress I knew all too well, the one she had worn to the rehearsal dinner the night before. I instinctively leaned forward. Benny held his breath. The man reached out and grabbed the woman's arm. She smiled softly, and he pulled her closer. They kissed. Not a casual, awkward, or mistaken kiss. It was natural, familiar, the kind of kiss 2 people completely comfortable with each other would share. I hit pause. The frame froze on their embrace. "Who is this?" Benny asked, his voice forced. I didn't answer. Because when the woman lifted her head, I recognized her. Melissa. My bridesmaid. My friend of 10 years. But what truly made me gasp were the next 2 seconds, the man's face turned toward the camera. Despite the poor quality, I could not have been mistaken. It was Benny. Wearing the dark gray suit we had chosen together, the watch I had given him before the wedding. My stomach dropped as if something had hit me hard. It's not what you think," Benny finally spoke, his voice tight. I didn't answer. I just closed the video and stood up. Without a word, I walked into the bedroom. He followed. "Let me explain. That morning, we were just kissing." I interrupted. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Then my phone vibrated. A text from an unknown number. "The 3rd file on the USB, you need to see it." I reopened the computer. Indeed, there was a 3rd file on the USB. I clicked on it. It was raw footage from behind the church. I watched myself at the altar, smiling, speaking, trembling. Then the camera automatically zoomed in on my right-hand bridesmaid, Melissa. She was supposed to be glowing with tears of joy for me. But her lips were moving softly. I paused and replayed. She was saying, "I'm sorry." Over and over again. The air felt thick, each breath requiring effort to draw in. The footage continued. As the wedding neared its end, guests stood and applauded. I walked down the aisle with Benny. Behind us, a groomsman leaned toward Melissa and whispered. He said, "It's over." Melissa nodded, softly replying. "After today, it's really over." I closed the video. At that moment, I felt calm, so calm, it was as if I were listening to someone else's story. The next morning, I went to a lawyer to start the annulment process. But this wasn't revenge. It was self-preservation. The real story began after that. Benny and I had been together for 3 years. To outsiders, we seemed stable, mature, and supportive. But I knew that from the very beginning, there had been a subtle imbalance. For example, at parties, he would joke. "She didn't used to dress this well." I taught her. Everyone laughed. I laughed. But inside, a thread of unease was always there. Or he would make decisions for me, seemingly considerate, but gradually teaching me to trust him over my own judgment. From what coffee to drink to which job to accept, he would say, "I'm more rational, you should trust me." Melissa had been my friend since college. She was beautiful, outgoing, effortlessly social, the kind of person who commands attention when she enters a room. I always felt I was different from her. Quieter. More of a background presence. But I never doubted her loyalty. Not until now. I began recalling countless details from the past 3 years that I had ignored, explained away, or rationalized for them. Like the time Melissa and Benny had a long private chat at a barbecue. I asked what they were talking about, she said. Work stuff. You'd find it boring. Or the time Melissa posted a picture of new silver earrings on Instagram, matching the silver cufflinks I had given Benny. When I asked how she knew the store, she said, I just happened to walk by. Or when Benny spent so much time at Melissa's cafe. He said, the Wi-Fi there is good, I work better. These memories were like nails poking through old wood, impossible to ignore. Humiliation isn't a single word or act, it's years of accumulating the message. You are not worthy of being taken seriously. But I'm not weak. I had just trusted them too much. The real awakening came 3 weeks into the annulment process, that night when Melissa actually showed up at my door. I heard her outside, saying, I didn't steal anything from you. I just fell into it. Fell into it? I sneered quietly behind the door. All 3 years of patience and endurance ignited in an instant. But I didn't open the door. I didn't yell. Because I realized she had no idea what the real threat was. No idea what I held. At that moment, I understood. If I wanted them to truly pay, I couldn't fight, scream, or break down. I needed them to be drowned in the very social circles they cared about most. Soon, Benny's brother hosted a family gathering in early April. It was in his backyard, barbecue, beer, music, children running around. Such events happened roughly every 2 months in their family. I used to help serve food, cut fruit, play with kids. But this time, I was the recently annulled bride. By rights, I shouldn't have been there. But Benny's mother personally called. You're welcome to come, we all care about you. I knew the entire family had heard Benny's explanation. We just miscommunicated. She misunderstood. The annulment was impulsive. I also knew Melissa would be there, she was close to Benny's sister. This was exactly the stage I needed. When I arrived, the yard was already crowded. Benny, standing by the grill, visibly froze when he saw me. Melissa was next to his sister, smiling as usual. I carried a cake box and quietly asked, can I put this in the kitchen? Everyone looked at me with a strange, sympathetic kindness. They probably assumed I was there to reconcile. Perfect. Because the next moment's impact would be devastating. Around 7 p.m., Benny's father raised a toast. Let's celebrate family togetherness. Everyone paused. I glanced at Benny, he avoided my eyes. Melissa fidgeted with her fingers. I walked to the center of the yard and took the USB from my pocket. Calmly, as if presenting a dish. I'd like to show a video. About Benny and me, the morning of our wedding. The yard went silent. No need for this, Benny blurted, panic in his voice. I think it's necessary, I smiled. I plugged the USB into the living room TV. The hotel corridor. 7:30 a.m. The crowd gasped. Melissa's face approached the camera. She kissed Benny. Then they talked and tidied their clothes. No one spoke. Even the children were silent. Benny stepped toward me. Turn it off. Please. I hit pause. I don't need you to beg me. I just need everyone to see the truth. I pressed play again. Next came the wedding vows. Melissa mouthing, I'm sorry, behind me. The groomsman whispering. Every word clear as a needle piercing wood. When the video ended, everyone's expressions had changed. Benny's sister covered her mouth, stepping back. Benny's mother stared at Melissa as if seeing her for the first time. Cousins whispered. Oh my God. This is disgusting. Then came the true moment of revenge. Benny stepped in front of me, voice trembling. We can talk privately. Please. Privately? I said softly. You've never done anything privately. Melissa's face went almost transparent. She stepped back, voice breaking. I didn't mean to. I didn't know. I looked at her. Of course you knew. You just didn't think I was worth respecting. Her lips quivered. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Because true punishment wasn't in my words. It was that she had to face her actions in front of the people she cared about most. This scene would follow her for years. Constantly reminded that she betrayed a 10-year friend and ruined a wedding, right in front of everyone's eyes. Benny reached for my hand. We can start over. I stepped back. Touch me, and I'll call the police. That sentence turned his face pale. Not because I would call the police. But because he finally realized that in this family, this social circle, no one would speak for him anymore. The gathering ended early. Melissa left crying as if she couldn't breathe. No one accompanied her. No one comforted her. No one spoke up for her. Benny's mother hugged me before leaving. We will always stand with you. I nodded. Thank you. But I didn't belong to any corner of that world anymore. My revenge was complete, and it was time for me to leave.